take a look at this problem. We want to factor completely, if possible. If not possible, write not factorable. So we got 81 y to the third minus 192. Now I still have my steps up from previous problem for factoring, assuming I can find it. There we go. Our first method that we always try to do is GCF. So as I look at 81 and 192, looks like they're both least divisible by 3, possibly more than that. The reason why I say 3 is if you add digits together. 8 plus 1 is 9, and that's divisible by 3. If the digits added together are divisible by 3, then the entire number is divisible by 3. And over here, 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 2 is 12, and 12 is divisible by 3. So to begin with, we'll factor out the GCF. Factor out of 3. 81 divided by 3 is 27, y to the third, minus, let's see, 64. Okay, now let's continue on. Grouping is 4 more terms. That doesn't fit. There's only 2 terms. We're specifically looking at what's inside the parentheses. PSD and key number both 3 terms. That doesn't fit. This is 2 terms. Difference 2 squares. 2 terms and minus 3 in it. That fits. 8 times 8 gives you 64, but 27. You ask yourself, what times itself gives you 27? Nothing does, so it fails. So we start going back through our list. Difference 2 cubes is 2 terms with a minus 3 in them. You notice difference 2 squares and difference 2 cubes have the same description. So if dots fails, then you come down and do difference 2 cubes. And that actually works in this one. So we got difference of 2 cubes. 3 just carries down, and we're going to try to rewrite this as something to the third power minus something else to the third power. Now you take a look at each individual piece and you ask yourself what times itself 3 times gives you that. For example, 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. The y to the third is y times y times y. And 64 is 4 times 4 times 4. Now I'm going to label what's inside this first set of parentheses is F for first, and I'll label what's inside the last set of parentheses as L for last. Our formula for the difference 2 cubes is F minus L times F squared plus FL plus L squared. Now the formula on the formula sheet may be different than that. It may not use F and L's, but it's still the same idea. Now, everywhere I have an F in my formula, I'll plug in 3y, and everywhere I have an L in my formula, I'll plug in 4. So we're going to have 3x minus 4, and then we'll have 3x to the second power plus 3x times... Boy, my eyes are getting bad. Those are y's, aren't they? Okay, let's try it again. Back up, back up. So that's 3y minus 4. Mr. Magoo. Then I'll plug in 3y for the f here. So I got 3y squared plus 3y times 4 plus 4 squared. So we got 3 times 3y minus 4. Now 3y squared. 3y times 3y gives you 9y squared. 3y times 4 is 12y. And 4 squared gives you 16. Now it always looks like you could factor this further. If you look at what's inside the parentheses here, we have y squared, y, no y, and there's a number in front of the y squared. This would be the key number. But this doesn't factor. You'd have to have a 24 before the y to factor down further. So that would be our answer.